Hey, Ron here, and my list says that I'm recording a video about overstimulus? I remember that. I was talking to Scott Cross about it, back during the Rodney Davis event. So I want to talk about how there's so much stuff going on and how so much of it is bad, and how the idea of people being apathetic is literally wrong, or how maybe it's wrong. Okay, so I mentioned in another video, I think it was my video about white terror, that you can't get away from the media anymore. It used to be you can go out fishing. You can't do that anymore because all the fish are dying. It used to be you could go out on a jog or something. You can't get away from the media like that anymore because fucking there are billboards that are TVs. It used to be you had a reading room. My landlords are waking up. Used to be you had something like a reading room or a study room where you could go and there wouldn't be a television. Used to be there was one television in every household. Now there's one television, 1.5 televisions in every room in a household. And that's not counting things like tablets and computers and phones. You carry the media around with you wherever you go now. You can't get away from it. And that causes a lot of stress to people, because almost all the news we're hearing is bad. The Amazon is dying. Joe Biden is probably going to win the DNC conference. Donald Trump is still president, and fucking the Democratic leadership is refusing to impeach him. All of these things are terrible news. And that's just stuff off the top of my head that I heard earlier today. The fucking Donald Trump was declaring himself the scion of God and the chosen one. For fuck's sake, oh, fuck, that even makes me angry. And that's a problem, because that's just perpetual stress. That is perpetual stress that people who follow those things have to deal with every day, or just tune out. And to be clear, people who do tune it out don't tune it out because they don't care. A lot of them, at least, don't do it because they don't care. I know people in my family who deliberately tune out the news. Not because they don't care about things, but because it's just too much at once. Most people don't have the mental fortitude to deal with that kind of constant stress. That kind of constant, we're in danger from all these things that are far away and that you can't do anything about. And we're living in a society that is constantly grating at those people. Not deliberately, not purposely, but just because they can, because it sells well. And I feel like it's going out and talking to people, I'm understanding more and more that it's creating the opposite effect. Having that sort of media all the time, everywhere you go, is creating an environment where people are just numb. They can't feel anymore because it's almost like post-traumatic stress disorder, where you just get so much input at any amount of time for every day that it just becomes a blur. And people who used to follow the news and have stopped following the news, who talk to me about this, that is frequently what they say. They became numb to it. It all became a blur, and they had to get away from it. But it's not apathy. It's not that people don't care. It's that the human psyche isn't built to handle that much stress. And I think that it's damaging to any cause, not just our cause, but any cause, to suggest that it's apathy. This is something the right kind of has a handle on, because of how they present the media, because how they present their problems. They're safe about it. They don't present it as, oh, there's this terrible thing right now. And they present it as, this person is doing something and you should be angry at them. I don't want to say that they control people's emotions, but there's this concept called priming. And the right is very good at priming people to feel different emotions at different times. The left, I imagine, and centrists don't do that because it's dishonest and it's vaguely propagandic, but not all propaganda is bad. One of the best films ever made is a fucking Don't Be a Sucker. You ever heard of that? I'll link that in the description. That's a propaganda film, and as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the best films ever made. Although, take that with a grain of salt, I believe that film is not art, never has been art, and never can be art, which is something I'll make a video about at some point. So I don't know how we do it, but we need to find a way to deal with the constant, smothering, unremitting, inescapable stress of the modern day, of the media. I just don't know how to do it. I mean, I know that you, if you're watching this, if you feel overstressed, just take a break. You don't need to be around all of the time. I mean, we've got your back. I've got your back. I'm on most of the time. I can handle that kind of constant stress. I was trained to handle it by people in my family who are soldiers. But yeah. If you feel overstressed, you need to take care of yourself. I mean, you can't take care of other people. You can't help other people if you're not taking care of yourself. And I feel like that's something on the left that goes unremarked upon too. If you feel like you're gonna flip out, if you feel like you're gonna have an episode, take a step back. Get a bottle of water. Maybe take a walk. It's not that feelings are bad, but if you're overwhelmed, if you're constantly in a crisis point all the fucking time, if you're always worrying about something, then you're not going to be able to make good decisions. And that's not helpful to anyone. I guess maybe we should start by helping each other? I don't know. Well, I guess that's all I have to say about that. I'm all said out. A very gentle reminder, I do still have a Ko-Fi account. Link is in the underbar of all of my videos, including this one, and is in the bottom right corner of my YouTube banner. It should be, I think it is. I also have a Curious Cat account if you want to ask me weird personal questions, or you can just ask me in the comments of the video. I read almost every one of the comments. I read as many as I can. Sometimes I miss them. Yeah. Don't know what the next video is going to be. This is one of the ones that I recorded ahead of time, so I had them on hand. So yeah. Until we get there, take care of yourselves, alright?